WNBA Finals. And so I'll leave it there. I mean, I'm just obviously disheartened. You know, I'm a human too. I have a family. I have 2 kids who are devastated by these comments. And so all I'll say is just, you know, it's.
Imagine walking onto a professional stage knowing your official salary barely matches the price of a mid-range sports car, while behind the scenes you're negotiating deals that rival the GDP of a small island nation. That is the surreal reality surrounding the biggest phenomenon in modern sports. A player still in her rookie season, yet already rewriting the financial blueprint of women's basketball. Rumors have detonated across both the sports and business worlds that Caitlin Clark is on the verge of finalizing, or may have already quietly secured, a historic $100 million partnership with luxury fashion powerhouse Prada. The number is staggering, dwarfing her playing contract and obliterating every previous endorsement ceiling for a female athlete. Fans see it as a triumphant leap into global high fashion, a symbol of how far the game has come. But inside the corporate offices of the WNBA, the mood is reportedly far less celebratory. Whispers suggest tension, even panic, as top executives, and possibly the commissioner herself, grapple with the reality of a player who has become financially untouchable, commercially unstoppable, and increasingly impossible to control. The establishment survives on control, and right now that control is slipping through its fingers. To understand why a luxury fashion partnership could ignite boardroom fury, you have to rewind to the exact night the tension first sparked, the WNBA draft. What was meant to be a routine welcome into the pros transformed into a global billboard moment. When Caitlin Clark stepped out onto the orange carpet, she wasn't wrapped in a predictable sports label or a safe designer gown. She arrived draped head to toe in custom Prada, sleek white satin, black leather slingbacks, and the unmistakable embroidered handbag that fashion insiders instantly recognized. Prada rarely aligns itself with draft nights. Its custom fittings are usually reserved for the Met Gala, the Oscars, and international fashion weeks. By choosing a rookie basketball player, the Italian house sent a thunderous message to the global market. The look, reportedly valued near $17,000, almost a quarter of her first-year league salary, sent search traffic soaring within minutes. It wasn't just a red carpet outfit. It was a strategic power move, proof that her influence stretched far beyond the three-point line. Behind the scenes, that night was allegedly a test run for something much bigger. Insiders now claim the overwhelming response accelerated talks for an exclusive, multi-year global ambassadorship, reportedly worth $100 million. If true, this isn't about placing a logo on a handbag. It's about embedding an athlete into the DNA of a heritage luxury empire. Capsule collections, worldwide billboard campaigns, front-row visibility at Milan Fashion Week. Luxury brands have realized Hollywood alone no longer drives culture. Audiences crave authenticity and real-time dominance, and few figures command that like a generational sports star shattering ratings records. For Prada, locking in the most talked-about athlete in women's basketball isn't just branding. It's a stake in the cultural future. But while executives in Milan may be celebrating, the reaction at WNBA headquarters in New York is reportedly far more tense. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has spent years carefully building a unified league identity, negotiating broadcast deals and sponsorships designed to elevate the WNBA shield above any one individual. The traditional model depends on the league shaping star narratives. Now, that model is under strain. Clark's off-court revenue may soon dwarf what she earns inside the league, and those deals exist entirely outside the WNBA's marketing umbrella. That means no control over brand alignments, no authority over appearances, and no share of the profits. The fear inside league offices is that their biggest draw is becoming financially independent to the point of being untouchable, potentially reducing the league to a secondary platform in her broader empire. And that anxiety isn't contained to executive suites. It's bleeding into locker rooms. Veterans who spent years grinding through overseas winters in Russia or Turkey to earn a living wage are watching a rookie command luxury houses without ever boarding a flight to a foreign league. Publicly, many celebrate the growth of the game. Privately, the tension is undeniable. Subtle media remarks, pointed podcast comments, defensive soundbites. Each reveals the strain of a generational shift. They laid the bricks of the foundation through years of sacrifice. And now they're watching someone else step directly into the penthouse. When one player is flying private to fashion capitals, while teammates navigate commercial delays and tight travel budgets, the balance changes. The power dynamic changes. And everyone, from the boardroom to the bench, can feel it. This staggering wealth gap has created an uneasy atmosphere, fueling whispers of jealousy and accusations of targeted physical play on the court. It's human nature to feel displaced when the financial laws of the universe seem to bend for one person alone. The league now finds itself trying to bridge a cultural canyon, balancing the blue-collar grind that defined its veteran core with the jet-setting, high-fashion orbit of its new golden attraction. But the tension inside locker rooms is minor compared to the corporate crossfire unfolding behind the scenes. Before she ever logged a professional minute, Caitlin Clark had already secured a reported $28 million signature shoe deal with Nike, a brand that expects loyalty, visibility, and the iconic swoosh dominating every frame from practice to press conferences. Luxury fashion, however, plays by a different rulebook. A rumored Prada megadeal introduces a high-stakes conflict. How do you merge the grit of a global sportswear empire with the polished exclusivity of a European fashion house? Add in the WNBA's own league sponsors, companies paying millions for official visibility, and the situation becomes combustible. If the league's biggest star declines mandated off-court apparel due to exclusive luxury obligations, it risks triggering contractual chaos. Agents, attorneys, and executives are reportedly locked in intense negotiations, mapping out exactly when, where, and how she can represent competing giants without detonating breach of contract clauses. One misstep, an Instagram post, the wrong jacket in a tunnel walk, could spark multi-million-dollar disputes. This is precisely the scenario the league's rulebook was never designed to handle. The current CBA was built for a different era, when players were largely interchangeable in marketing value and outside opportunities were limited. It enforces tight salary caps, rigid marketing controls, and even a prioritization clause compelling players to put the WNBA ahead of other ventures. But those structures strain under the weight of a global superstar with a potential 9-figure fashion empire. Speculation is mounting that her legal team, alongside union figures, may soon challenge restrictive provisions when opt-out windows open, seeking greater autonomy, stronger protections, and a larger slice of the broadcast revenue her presence helps generate. The league fears a lockout or legal showdown because its leverage is fragile. If she ever chose to walk away from a $76,000 base salary over conflicts with external commitments, the ripple effect would be seismic. Ratings would drop, sponsorship leverage would weaken, and future TV negotiations could unravel. The executives understand the stakes. The old guard is beginning to confront a new reality. The balance of power has shifted, and it may never tilt back. They're realizing they can't discipline, control, or financially pressure a player backed by the limitless resources of global luxury houses and sneaker empires. The power structure hasn't just shifted, it's flipped. What's happening now is bigger than one athlete cashing in. It marks the transformation of the female basketball star from a regional sports figure into a worldwide cultural force. For decades, the marketing ceiling for women's basketball meant local dealership ads or niche endorsements. Corporate America treated these athletes as specialty acts, not mainstream power brokers. But by potentially bridging the hardwood to the high-fashion runways of Milan through a rumored Prada megadeal, that outdated ceiling explodes. It signals to every boardroom on the planet that women's sports are no longer symbolic sponsorships or corporate goodwill gestures. They are premium marketing engines capable of driving billions. Disruption at that scale naturally sparks fear within an establishment built on slow, centralized control. The WNBA was designed to grow methodically, carefully managing image and revenue streams. Now it feels strapped to a rocket powered by couture money and global fascination. League leadership faces a defining choice: resist this transformation in a bid to reclaim authority, or rewrite their own playbook and embrace a future that arrived in designer heels. Because this isn't just about basketball anymore, and it isn't only about a single blockbuster endorsement. It's a live case study in how the global sports economy is being rewritten in real time. A rumored 9-figure fashion partnership declares that elite female athletes are no longer confined to traditional sports marketing lanes. They are global icons of culture, fashion, and lifestyle, commanding the same influence and compensation as chart-topping musicians and box office stars. The frustration in executive offices, the unease in locker rooms, the tension echoing through media circles. These are the growing pains of a system being dragged into a new financial era. Caitlin Clark has demonstrated that true value isn't dictated by an outdated salary cap, but by cultural gravity beyond the arena walls. And as contracts are whispered about and power battles simmer, one unavoidable question lingers. If an athlete becomes fully independent from the league that stages her games, does the league still define her, or has the player become bigger than the game itself?